Hi there, my name is Phil Anderson and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. First of all, tonight I'd like to thank those very, very thoughtful people who treated my wife and I to dinner tonight. It was fantastic. Your thoughtfulness will not go unnoticed, and I am forever grateful. It's been a very busy campaign season, and truthfully, I don't get to spend as much time with my family, specifically with my wife, as I'd like to. And through spending time tonight, I rediscovered it, or it was re-emphasized for me, what one of the most important things about relationships is, and that is communication. Honest communication. Not the sort of communication where you tell somebody else what they want to hear, but when I'm talking to my wife, I want to know what's right and what's wrong. I want to know what's going on, how she feels about things, both positive and negative, how I'm doing a good job and how I'm not, all those sorts of things. It also reminds me a little bit of the relationship between a real estate broker and their client. As you may know, I'm also a real estate broker. I have a company called Silver Compass Realty, which is just getting off the ground. We've had a few clients so far. It's only been in existence for 7 months now, but in that practice, as well as my practice as a real estate agent before that, it's very important that I know with my clients exactly what they're looking for and what they're not looking for, and that when we discover a property together, or even evaluating the house that they're currently living in, that we know truthfully what the positives and negatives are, what our desires are, what we're trying to accomplish, what we're not trying to accomplish. It's all very clear. There can't be any sort of fluff. There can't be any passive aggressiveness. That all leads to a lack of trust and a lack of representation. And that's why I'm bringing this up tonight, after a wonderful night having dinner with my wife. And that is that political representation has erred way far away from that sort of honest representation that I'm talking about in terms of communicating with your loved ones, with your friends, people that you work with and for, and people that you represent in a legal relationship. It's gone far away from that. Right now, politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, are trying their best to tell you the things that they think that you want to hear. They're not only playing identity politics by telling you that depending on what your category is in terms of your gender, your race, your religion, your sexual orientation, that you're special, that you deserve this, that, or the other thing, in some way that you're not being treated fairly. I'm being attacked by a moth as we speak, that you're not being treated fairly by this moth, for example, or that you deserve something, or that something should be changed or remain the same to benefit you. All of these things are not accurate. They're not true. They're not treating you as somebody who deserves to know the truth and the facts of the situation. What I want for my representation, and what I promise to deliver to you as your United States Senator, is a truthful representation of what's going on in Congress every day. That is, this is working, this is not working. I've succeeded at that, I've failed at this. One of the interesting things the other night when Gary Johnson was on with Anderson Cooper in the town hall is that he said that it's important that politicians admit when they're wrong, and that it's a famously now circulated quote. But Anderson Cooper pointed out he's never heard a politician say that before, that it's a good idea to admit when you're wrong. I think it's essential. When somebody makes a mistake in Congress, in a working relationship, in a family, in whatever, you need to own up to it. That way there's accountability, there's kind of a lack of BS, that sort of thing that clouds the way that we communicate, and that adds this sort of mistrust. It changes an honest relationship, a representative relationship, into one where you're really trying to figure out what they're really trying to say, trying to swim through the clouds of the rhetoric and figure out exactly what they would do. Now, right now in politics, we are faced with decisions between for presidential candidates and in Wisconsin Senate candidates, where we got Russ Feingold saying, I believe in this and I believe in that, when his record might show differently or his recent behavior might show differently. Ron Johnson saying the same thing. I stand for this, I stand for that. When in fact, if you look at their voting record, it's not exactly the same. So what are we to believe? What we're to learn from this is that the best representation is truthful, clear, honest, full of candor, full of honesty, straightforward. And I promise this to you. As a United States Senator, I will always tell you the truth. Gary Johnson's taken the same pledge. He says the easiest way to work with people, the easiest way to govern, is to tell the truth, because then you're not covering your, trying to cover up for lies or misstatements or nuances or whatever that you might have made in the past. That's my promise to you as well. I will always tell you how things are going. I will always tell you how I think things are going relative to what you should expect for things to be going. I will always compare my record to my promises, and I will always tell you day by day, committee meeting by committee meeting, what exactly is going on in the United States Senate, so that you have the opportunity to weigh in, to give feedback, so that you have the opportunity to influence my opinion about things, to say how you feel about things, and to at least truthfully feel, that you're actually being represented in Congress, in the United States Senate, and not just being sold something during the election cycle and then hoping it goes that well during the actual process of serving in office. I'm committed to being an honest public servant, to being an honest politician. I know that sounds a little bit like an easy thing to say at this point, but that's just who I am. I'll always tell you the truth. That I think is the best thing that I can give you as your representative in Congress, and that's what I pledge to you. I'll always tell you how things are going and how they're not going, what the challenges are, what the obstacles are, what the triumphs are. I will share with you so that you can share with me how you feel about it, and together we can move forward and have a better place to live in these United States of America, a place with more peace, prosperity, and privacy. That's my goal. Thanks very much, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.